Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the Personality here, and welcome to Live and Wired, episode 23. It usually works.
I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but when you said that spiel, the introductory part sounded like, "Hello, World Wide Web." I'm
Well, you mean like normal, or like some sort of issues with? I don't know what my brain is not working.
It sounded like your lips were trying to fuse with your tongue.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And your nose may have also gotten involved at some point too.
Yay. But yes, let's see. Is this working? I'm trying to check to make sure it's still. Yes, we're still monetized. Oh my god. Okay. So hello. Joining as always is that long-haired creepy guy.
Yo.
And joining a bit later will be Patricia.
Thankfully.
How do you guys feel about the In Search of Darkness trailer? Asks Scott Yoshihara. I feel like I haven't seen it.
Yeah, same here.
not that I can recall.
You see, this is what happens when Patricia isn't here. We are grossly uninformed.
Yes. Hello, Michael Lena. And, all right. Yes, this usually works. That usually works. Yes, these things are usually smooth, usually up and just got good. Yes. So, who wants to talk about movies and video games and YouTube and stuff?
Okay, let's start the betting pool now. How long before Decker has a complete meltdown while the live stream is still going? And before Patricia gets here, like I want to see actual money put up, and timestamps.
Oh yeah, creepy. I'm wondering, did you get your mug yet?
Yes, damn it! It actually came right before the previous Live and Wired, and I meant to have it with me, and then I forgot, and so I just said to myself, "Well, I'll just do it next time," and then I forgot again.
Also, did they give you the same size as mine? Because both the times when I ordered mine and when I ordered yours, the picture that I ordered looked like it was taller than this.
Hold it up just a little bit closer. I mean, I know how this is going to be for everybody else, but I think mine actually may be a little bit bigger than yours. And yes, I am aware of what I just said.
So then, let's talk about some movie news. Movies. News. I know what I'm doing. I'm good at my job.
He's really not.
I'm gonna share my screen. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. It's amazing. I shared the wrong screen. Stop sharing that screen. I'm gonna share my other screen. There we go. Now I'm sharing the right screen. It's not my fault. I got. Oh crap. Okay, there we go. Click there. Okay, there we go. So hey. You know what? It's Tom and Jerry Scooby-Doo movies, land top film like down, Warner Animation, Swoosh. Yeah, okay. So we got Tom and Jerry and Scooby-Doo movies from Warner Animation. And not exactly... Okay, creepy. Do you want to read this? Because I'm not the biggest Scooby-Doo, but I know you.
Warner Brothers has big ambitions for its animation division, and the studio has zeroed in on the talent to help steer the ship on two popular properties. Right. Well, I'm a little skeptical about one of those. Sources tell Variety that Warner's and Warner Animation Group, WAG, really thought that one through better, are in negotiation with Shaft Helmer Tim Story to direct the new Tom and Jerry live-action animated hybrid. The studio has also brought on Chris Columbus as executive producer on the new Scooby-Doo animated movie. Warner's has been strengthening its animation sales production since on the Lego movie, which coincided with the formation of Warner Animation Group in 2013. Allison Abate was sorry about that. I have some indigestion coming back to haunt me. Was tapped to oversee the division and executives, including Jesse Erman, yeah. It's like the font on this on my end is tiny, so I'm having to squint to look at it. Yeah.
Understandable.
And president of production Courtney Valenti have made a big push to get classic titles like the Hanna-Barbera properties off the ground. Well, that's not in and of itself bad necessarily. The studio understands how much of its history is rooted in these iconic characters and want to give them as much attention as DC and Harry Potter projects. What that says to me is we've run out of ideas and we're desperate. But anyway. Warner Brothers is aiming for a balance of animated features and live-action hybrids, and in a rare move, the studio has made a concerted effort to make sure the animation and live-action teams are working hand-in-hand in developing these projects, something rarely seen at other studios. Executives also understand that for the animation to be strong for the hybrid projects, the VFX some studios use won't work as well going through the animation process. That's actually very true. Starting with storyboarding the characters instead of previs to help develop each individual's arc. Tom and Jerry is expected to be the first live-action hybrid to shoot in 2019, and insiders say timing helped when it came to landing the ride-along director, who had worked in animation. Story received finished production on New Line's Shaft reboot and was talking to WB execs about what he was interested in doing next. When the classic cartoon property was brought up, Story immediately mentioned his admiration for the characters and how he'd love tackling that property. For that film, the plan is to shoot the real world with animation versions of the familiar cat and mouse duo. Sources say that since Tom and Jerry didn't speak and relied on physical comedy to draw laughs, this version will stick to that style and not cast actors to voice the duo. Probably because they tried that before with an animated movie for Tom and Jerry, and it bombed.
Boy.
Yeah, people hated it. Like, also, the Tom and Jerry movie was trying to copy the Disney formula, and it came out in the wake of the first Disney Renaissance, when a lot of other studios were trying to copy that formula too because they saw how well it worked. I lost my production is okay. That decision also helped add to the international appeal of the film. The other major live-action hybrid expected to go next year is the sequel to Space Jam. Oh, I had forgotten about that.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh man. The studio
but
is also
John Ratsey's saying who will not talk about the other Tom and Jerry movie where they talked.
Right. The studio is also making a Wile E. Coyote versus Acme hybrid feature. Okay, all of these just sound like really terrible ideas. I'm just going to come right out and say it right now.
Okay, have you had enough of this article?
Well, we're just getting to the Scooby-Doo stuff. This article
okay.
Really unnecessarily long, but we're finally at the Scooby-Doo stuff, and that's what interests me. On the animation side, the Untitled Scooby-Doo movie is full steam ahead with an expected release date in the first quarter of 2020. Columbus's interest in the film started when he was developing the Gremlins reboot, which he is producing. Insiders say his affection for the character and WB animation was apparent, and he was soon asked to join the production as a creative producer, working side by side with director Tony Carvone. Yeah,
Tony, I don't know.
Kelly Freeman Craig is writing the screenplay from a draft by Jack Donaldson and Derek Elliott. Matt Lieberman penned first draft. Okay. Oh, fuck. Is also gearing up on its Jetsons movie with, oh man, I feel like every time I keep going down, like the least awful thing that I've read in this article has been the Scooby-Doo stuff. Everything else just sounds like stop, turn around, go back, abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
Oh boy.
That's enough. Back up, stop. Let's just,
okay. Stop. Okay. Whew.
This is okay. That was like some trippy internet version of a Hitchcock movie.
Yeah, I think I should probably move my window over here if I want to do that because it makes sense. I got room. Yes. That'll make more sense. Oh, we got a $5 super chat from Akan saying, "Hi Decker, it's Kylia. I haven't been modding due to my cat being very sick. We think he'll pass any day. Oh, that is sad.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's always terrible. I've been getting scared with Tara lately, not because of anything like that, but just Tara has been not smart and has been walking in front of Charlie's wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie can't feel on the wheels, so she doesn't know there's a big furry thing that just kind of went that way. And I'm having to run in and scoop up her and save her. I'm getting terrified. Oh, but that is. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it's not going to be too hard, but I know it will.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no way to make that any better. Oh boy. So yeah, we had some questions, Creepy, about whether I can't see who it was from anymore. But someone was asking if you had seen New Halloween.
No, I have not. Honestly, I had a little bit of a hard time getting worked up about the Halloween movie just because I know sometimes descriptions and trailers don't necessarily convey a film properly, and in some cases in a lot of cases it seems like today that's very, very deliberate, But I just didn't think there would be anything in it that I hadn't seen before.
But Laurie is a badass.
Okay, I would go and see it for that.
And everyone's like, "Hey, you crazy grandma." And she's like, "I'm a crazy grandma with a shotgun." Hey, Decker, you should make a Discord so you can talk to fans. I try and do that with Live and Wyatt as best I can. I don't think I'd use my Discord. I wouldn't be on it ever. So I don't know. Yeah. That's me. Patricia, come save us. Oh God. Okay, so
saying that.
so then. There's also other news. I think we should talk a little bit about the theme with the title that usually works. If you've been on my Facebook or my Twitter, you probably have seen the title card that I'm not allowed to upload until this scheduled event is done. If it's just a straight live stream from just whatever, then yeah, I can put a title card on that. But if it's a scheduled event for some reason, I can't. But yes, I'm pretty sure, since a lot of you had mentioned it to me while I was streaming on Twitch the one day, you noticed YouTube went down for a couple of hours a few days ago. Like 10 days ago, was it?
I believe so.
I think it was on the 16th. YouTube went down for a couple of hours. And I think I got some articles on it, but there's pretty much, we already know the main topic. We don't really need an article to read for that, I don't think.
YouTube. You never fail to screw everything up.
So yeah, YouTube went down for 2 hours just out of the blue, randomly. And then, 2 hours later, it was back up. And still YouTube's position on it is, what do you mean YouTube's broken? There's nothing wrong. Nothing happened. What's down? There was a little downtime, but it's not down anymore. Therefore, YouTube's fine. And I don't know if you saw, Creepy, but Markiplier made a video speaking about his own theories, since he doesn't know. It's just what he's imagining, what he's figuring from what he does know about YouTube and what he thinks is likely the case.
I saw that, yeah. But go ahead, Yeah,
he pretty much went over how, back in 2014, YouTube had forced Google forced YouTube and Google Plus into an unholy marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And
of course,
no one wanted
YouTube since late 2006. But yes, there was a complete merger by that point.
Yeah, so Google Plus became something that was absolutely necessary to have if you wanted a YouTube channel, or if you wanted to even comment on YouTube, you needed to have a Google Plus account.
Correct.
It became something where it was just, according to Markiplier in his video, he said that there were actually monetary incentives for programmers to bake Google Plus into YouTube. I don't know where he got that from, but that is what he says in his video. And Google Plus is being shut down because, hey, no one fucking uses it.
Yeah.
So it's interestingly, shortly after they started shutting down Google Plus, YouTube started having pretty major problems.
Right.
And YouTube's official word is nothing to see here, but all of us is definitely seeing things happening and would like to know why. Markiplier theorized, I believe, that YouTube themselves don't entirely know. They aren't sure exactly what to do to fix YouTube.
That is possible. I mean, I won't throw my hat down and say, yes, that's definitely it, but I could believe that. It's like, I feel like they built this without really, I mean, like, I remember when Google, you remember when it was even further back than that. It was in 2011, I believe it was, like halfway through the year or a little bit further along, when, before you could customize your YouTube channel page to look with different styles and so forth so that it could look a certain way, to fit, as, I mean, there were still limitations, but it could fit a certain aesthetic, then they about halfway or a little bit further after, I want to say it was in August, after in 2011, they scrapped all of that and made YouTube look like Twitter. And like nobody liked that. Everybody, I don't recall seeing a single person who liked that or was in favor of it, who wasn't being paid to say that. And then
Patrick Johnson says, when not even YouTube itself knows how YouTube works, we're fucked.
Right. But then in 2014, they merged YouTube with Google Plus. And now I think they are trying, since Google Plus, they just, okay, there are two possible reasons why they did that. Either they didn't think Google Plus was a product that would work on its own unless people had to use it, so they tried to make it so that it was required. Like, there's no way anyone can use YouTube, which has very quickly become a central part of our culture, so they have to get a Google Plus account. But even though they made it mandatory for people to get a Google Plus account, nobody used Google Plus. They just got an account and kept using YouTube and ignored Google Plus entirely. Yeah. And then, or they were like, like they just assumed that, it was just something that people would get into using the same way they got into using Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr. But the thing about that is Google Plus was never necessary except for using YouTube. Tumblr offers things a certain way. Twitter offers things a certain way. Facebook offers things a certain way. Google Plus was just kind of sat there. It didn't offer anything new or different or interesting or better than other products. In fact, if anything, it seemed like it did a lot of the things that these other things did a lot worse.
So I remember the old meme. It was like donuts on different social media. You had Facebook, I like donuts. Twitter, I'm eating a donut. Instagram, here's a picture of a donut. Google Plus, I'm a Google employee who likes donuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, precisely. So, suddenly they've realized that they're spending money on this product that nobody wanted and no one's really using. So now they're trying to get rid of it so they can save money, but they've woven it into the YouTube so completely that, well, pulling it out means kind of like ripping out pieces of YouTube's brain. So they've basically given YouTube an unintentional lobotomy.
And Markiplier was talking about like YouTube still being kind of buggy as a result, and some people having a lot of issues. And I've experienced some things myself, some bad, some good, and then bad. It's really weird. Like I got eventually the copyright strike for the Curse of Michael Myers review. Eventually, got past that week, received the strike, sent in my counter notification, and in less than 24 hours, the strike was lifted. Yesterday morning, I got an email from YouTube saying, actually, that was a bug. That was a bug, you getting your strike lifted that fast. So we're going to put the strike back on and then wait out the proper 10 business days to see if they respond. We're really sorry. We actually accepted that you didn't do anything wrong, but just because you didn't do anything wrong, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be punished. We're really sorry about this. Here's your strike. It's like, what the fuck? But on the flip side, the last review I put up, the Rob Zombie's Halloween review, I don't know if you noticed it. It did pretty fucking well. The whole channel has been doing really well after that one went up. And as far as I can tell, it's not that it had gone viral at all. Not really. It's just that it didn't get hit with any kind of copyright claims. It didn't get any content ID matches on it. It didn't get hit with any not suitable for advertisers flags of any kind. It just got sent out to subscribers who then watched it, who then upped the view time, who then therefore upped the relevance of the channel, which then had YouTube's algorithms promote the rest of the videos on the channel, and things are doing really well for the last couple of weeks because of that. So I'm wondering, as a Doodle says, sorry, Decker, we accidentally did something right. Since this is obviously not the service expected from us, let us fix that for you. Yeah, pretty much. And I'm wondering if that's going to happen over the whole Rob Zombie's Halloween actually being sent to subscribers and the channel doing well as a result. It's like, our bad. We really weren't intending on actually showing people your video. We'll just put you in debt for that ad revenue until you earn enough on top of it to get past that. Then we'll pay you again. Right. I don't know anymore. It's just, we get an email from YouTube saying, sorry we took off that copyright strike. We'll put it right back on. That was a mistake. Our bad. Oh,
I believe that. Again, all of these sound plausible.
So, with that in mind, we do have a Twitter poll this week. This 2 weeks. This bye-week? This bye-week.
The week
and the Live and Wired poll for Twitter this time is, how are we going to fix YouTube? How? Only serious thoughts here. Number 1, maximize view potential. Number 2, integrate crossover flux. 3, spiritual healing. And, of course, there's always option 4, a hammer and duct tape solution. We've got 30 minutes starting now on Twitter at Decker Shado, and I will try and get that link into the chat myself.
This will be fun to watch just on its own.
Let's see. Damn it! You are actually just watching me do this, aren't you? Okay. There it is.
And it took him 23 seconds to do it. I think I'm being gracious, though, because I shaved off some time.
Well, on the subject of YouTube and weird stuff that doesn't really make sense and no one has any answers, one thing that wasn't really on the docket yet, and I'm not entirely certain about talking about because it might fall under the realm of what you would consider drama, but I don't want to be all over dramatic about it. I don't want to be like, here's some juicy drama. I'm just honestly confused. First of all, we've got a $5 super chat from Vladimir Dragunov saying, have you thought of reviewing the Lake Placid series? That has been a suggestion for some time. And it's the Lake Placid Anaconda a lot of the nature slasher villain kind of thing. It's kind of sort of a monster movie, sort of a slasher movie. I think it would probably be up my alley anyway. So
Right. There's also a movie called Phantoms, I believe, that starred Nev Campbell, like shortly after the Scream movies got big.
oh yeah, I think I remember a little bit, but I can't. Is all I remember is what you just said, which means I don't know if I even remembered that. But, Creepy, are you familiar with a YouTuber by the name of Etika?
No.
There's some crazy shit that happened just the last couple of days, like last night, I think, especially.
Right. Fill me in.
Well,
everyone listens.
Last night there was a suicide scare involving Etika.
Oh.
And that's the first I heard of what was going on. And then I was like digging and digging and digging, like, how did we get here? What happened? Evidently, a few days prior, he had his Twitter account suspended for using the N-word. He himself is black, so it's kind of like, I understand what Twitter's saying here, but at the same time, yeah, it's there. I know the rules, and therefore he didn't break them. So, but you can't tell that in text. Everyone's text looks the same, so account suspended. And then he posted a video about that to YouTube and all that. But then I think yesterday, some people are saying his account was hacked. Some people saying he did it himself. There are pictures. Some say the pictures are fake and photoshopped. I don't know what the hell's going on. But one thing that I can say did happen was his YouTube channel was deleted for violating community guidelines. According to some people, he uploaded a bunch of porn. According to others, his account was hacked and his hacker uploaded a bunch of porn. According to the screenshot I saw, the porn in question was like 6 seconds long and had been up for like a half hour, but the guy's had nearly 1 million subscribers, so if you can post a dead body on YouTube and then YouTube's like, this doesn't violate guidelines at all, and the person himself has to be convinced by the community to take it down, maybe it would take a half hour for them to say, oh yeah, porn is a bad thing.
Right.
But then again, on the same screenshot, like every single video on Etika's upload page had been viewed by the person taking the screenshot, including the one that was only 2 seconds long. But for some reason, the one that was only 2 seconds long was only watched for about a quarter of a second, which seems a little odd to me. Like, why wouldn't you just accidentally even just watch the whole thing?
Right.
But
that sounds very suspicious.
So I'm not 100% on the screenshots. I don't know entirely what's going on, and people were saying he was saying some stuff, trying to talk to Keemstar. Keemstar, he was trying to talk to him on a page that Keemstar wasn't checking and didn't know about, so he wasn't responding. And there was a big scare involving whether or not he was trying to kill himself at the time. So all I knew is his Twitter account was suspended and his YouTube account was removed for violating community guidelines, and then there was talk of a potential suicide scare with him, and I was just like, what in the hell is going on? And I still don't entirely know. I haven't done the biggest digging into that, but it's really just kind of all over the place, like, what the hell?
It sounds like a lot of people are having a really hard time getting the facts straight. Yeah. I'm not, and for once, I'm not saying, like people are just dumb or anything. What I mean is, it sounds like there are a lot of conflicting accounts. Some most likely, some are true, some are false, and figuring out which is which is the bitch here.
Cesar Duran said, where is it? It was, oh no, it was, that was MLG Aaron was saying, wow, I'm a Joy-Con boy and I knew nothing about this. And are you familiar with that reference, Creepy? I know not everyone was feverishly checking Switch news like I was. But
See, Sarah agrees with me.
Etika kind of made that meme kind of stick because he had a 3D printed Switch, kind of a fake Switch, months before they were supposed to come out. And on one live stream, he just pulled it out. So like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And he's just pointing at the screen. He's taking it off. And he's like, Joy-Con boys. So people were also confused because he does things like that. And it's very big and out there. Vladimir Dragunov is a new member of the channel. Welcome. Thank you. Kevin Burdine asks Decker, is he political? And I do not know. I don't really follow Etika too much. I remember the Joy-Con boys as just sort of a meme in itself. Just whenever you're talking saying good things about the Switch, you just kind of accentuate it with Joy-Con boys. Oh boy.
Anyway.
And yeah, MLG Aaron saying it's hard to grasp the fact what happened to Etika. And yeah, I still don't really know. I just know he's safe. He's alive. I don't believe he is suicidal at the moment. So that's good. That's the important part.
Very true.
And he's a big enough name that if he has to rebuild his channel from the ground up, pretty sure he can manage. It's not going to be as huge as it was, not 800,000 subscribers, but I think he'll be okay if he decides to go that route, or if he's moving on to other things like some say he was, and others are like he planned this the whole time, and it's like, if I build a giant YouTube career personally, and I want to move on to other things, in my opinion, I would keep the huge YouTube channel and use it to promote the new thing.
Right.
That's just me. That's how I would go about it. Okay, so do we get some happier news? Happier news.
Happy.
Okay. This is a nice one. If I can pop on over here, I'm gonna click on myself and then share, but not invite. No.
This
Okay.
will take a few
Share,
minutes.
what the fuck? Right. No, skip ad. Jeez. Okay. Now, no, not invite. No, share screen. Share screen. There we go.
Picture.
Okay. I got it. So, Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Critters films look like they're going to be remade or a new one by Sci-Fi. Good, and at the same time, I'm scared because Sci-Fi. So, we're bringing all the treats this Halloween season, and I've just learned of some massively exciting news regarding two beloved 1980s classics. Bloody Disgusting is hearing exclusively that Sci-Fi is in talks to license the rights to make new feature films based on the Chiodo brothers' Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Stephen Herrick's Critters. While Critters has seen multiple sequels, fans have been clamoring for a Killer Clowns follow-up for decades. In the film, aliens who look like clowns come from outer space and terrorize a small town. Sci-Fi is making franchise reboots part of their new business model, with a perfect example being Leprechaun Returns, set to premiere on March 2019. Reboots. No, don't do that. Okay. Critters is also sci-fi themed and follows a group of small, furry aliens that make lunch out of the locals in a farming town. Leonardo DiCaprio made his film debut in the third Critters. What would you like to see out of new films? Sequels, remakes? What kind of story? I just personally, I want a sequel. And I'd like it not to be made by Sci-Fi.
The Critters movies didn't really have a whole lot of continuity to them, did they?
I don't know. I only saw the second, and I was really confused.
Confused in that I don't follow the story, or confused in that this is just really weird?
Both. I mean, there was a kid there, and people knew the kid evidently from the events of the first movie, and the kid knew the alien motherfuckers, and he knew the critter motherfuckers, and the critter motherfuckers are going around doing shit and eating people on Easter and stuff. And people were like, "Oh my god, Easter eggs! Oh my god, no, they're eating me!" And it's like, what the fuck is going on? And no one of importance says, "Never remake clowns."
I found out about this before the show, and I could just imagine Decker losing his shit over the idea of a Killer Clowns remake.
My whole thing with Killer Clowns is the original didn't have the greatest special effects, but it did have really nice puppets and suits, and the masks. They were pretty good for the budget, especially. And it's that's part of the 80s charm is, practical effects and really cheesy special effects. Now, sci-fi does really cheesy CGI as the entirety of the special effects. And that's what has me concerned.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, sci-fi doing critters and killer clowns from outer space. Can you say practical costume effects replaced with CGI that look worse than the 80s costumes?
Yeah. Right.
Dr. Doom says if they're going to remake clowns, who should play Officer Mooney?
What's the actor's name what's the actor who played the police chief in Stranger Things?
Oh, I don't know, but I know who you're talking about.
Let me look this up, because I feel bad for not knowing the name of this. So
he was the punch some people in the face guy, right?
Yeah, pretty much. when there was a salute, when there was a problem.
No, I mean when he was accepting an award at so he was talking about punching people in the face. I think that was him.
David Harbour. David Kenneth Harbour.
Hef TV says Ron Jeremy should play.
Ron Jeremy has actually acted in a couple of mainstream films, so it's not.
The twins' mother recently showed me a trailer for a horror movie about Ron Jeremy's penis that breaks off and becomes a monster killer.
Well, if they were going to make a horror movie starring Ron Jeremy, I can believe that that's the direction they decided to go in.
I think it's called One-Eyed Monster.
Okay, I've got to Google this. I've got to look.
Russell Brand? Killer Condom. No, I don't know, not Killer Condom. I'm pretty sure it was called One-Eyed Monster.
There's a trailer for it.
What's it called?
Oh, let me. I'm going to read this out loud, okay?
All right.
Oh, it was a 2008 horror movie. Okay, so this is a movie that's 10 years old.
Bringing you all the best news on Live and Wire.
Right. Current, up to date, up to the minute. All hell breaks loose during the filming of a porno film in a remote North Carolina location. Why would it be there? Why would it be remote? Male lead Ron Jeremy, starring Ron Jeremy, gets struck by a meteorite, causing his penis to detach and be taken over by a sex-crazed alien. The penis murders Ron and other actors from the production and plans to take over the world through procreation. Crew member Jonah, Jason Graham, an Army veteran, bands his co-workers together and they plot to kill the alien before it inseminates all of humanity. Okay, that's a
natural transition. Army veteran to porn director.
Right. I'm like, okay, this movie is about Ron Jeremy's penis, and Ron Jeremy, from the sound of things, gets killed off fairly early on. I kind of feel like that's like I know that the reason people watch Ron Jeremy movies is for Ron Jeremy's penis, but I feel like they're going about that thought process the wrong way at the same time.
Kat Liniska says, "Midnight Wank. You are required to do this movie."
I was wondering to myself, which is more appropriate for this movie, Decker's Channel or Midnight Wank Theater? I want to review this movie on Midnight Wing Theater. Hey, maybe Decker could guest star on that channel.
I get killed off in the first scene, and then my penis reviews the rest of the movie.
I don't think we can show that. We just had a discussion about someone's account showing porn on it. I think that illustrates why that plan won't work.
Hey, YouTube says that my gaming channel has porn on it, but that doesn't mean that it does. Especially not the video they specifically pointed out. I mean, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I had Cassandra hanging from Zeus's giant stone dick. But that's art, so that's allowed. It's an artistic penis. It's a statue with giant balls.
Did you just use the word artistic penis?
Artistic penis.
Right, well, the two words, but you used the phrase "artistic penis" in the sentence.
But it still gets me that the video that got hit with it's porn, and then when I disputed it, they're like, "No, it's dispute rejected. It's porn." Was Sakura Santa? White girl blackwash the feel white guilt dropped 2 pounds as a super chat and says, "Decker review the 2017 Gremlin movie. Now I'm terrified." They remade Gremlins, says Gojira fan 1954. That's goddamn it. Everyone's like hashtag artistic penis.
Now it needs to appear in one of your videos. Say artistic penis at some point in your video, in a review.
Oh boy. But it's just Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You go around, you stab people, you swim, and you have all the bubbles coming out of your butt. Wonder that's not breathing. And then you hang on Zeus's giant stone artistic penis.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesse Guagliardo says, "Aren't we missing someone?" And technically, yes, very much, yes.
Kara walked by earlier. You must not have seen it.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, it's something that I wanted to. It's something that's also a little bit on the older side. I don't have an article here about it, but I do have a trailer, but I can't show that because copyright. But one thing that was a little bit older than last Live and Wired, but I didn't know about it until more recently, that I wanted to talk about was the VR. The virtual reality release of Borderlands 2 coming to PSVR.
Okay.
You know what Borderlands 2 is?
Yeah.
It's not what's actually coming to PlayStation VR. Because I'm pretty sure you had an idea in your mind when it came to Borderlands 2. That's the one with the 6 characters and the 4-player multiplayer.
Okay.
It's Borderlands 2 in VR, but it's the one with the 4 characters. Single player only.
I'm not a fan of Borderlands, and yet hearing that upsets me for some reason.
I am a fan of Borderlands, and that's just like, why would you do it? It's like, oh, we have BAMF time in this. It slows down time so you can do cool shit. So it's easier in virtual reality with teleporting. It's like, can't I just have full locomotion? I mean, I got the aim controller. It's got 2 sticks on it, and most of these characters don't dual wield anyway. It's just one gun, so you could easily just, no, that controller is not supported. What?
Oh, I'm just like that's just painful to hear. I mean, I'm reminded of that insurance commercial. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
Nicole7891 says, "What is Borderlands?" That's the game that was a lot of fun many, many years ago that they keep re-releasing instead of giving everyone Borderlands 3 like they want.
Right.
But I'm a big fan of VR, and I've really enjoyed Borderlands. I've got like nearly 200 hours in on Borderlands 2 on Steam, and I'm more than willing to put in more time in VR, but I am disappointed with the limitations of the VR Borderlands, because it's an Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 game. It's a 7th generation game. It has there would be absolutely no problem porting it to VR and keeping the graphics the same. Oh, hello.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Yeah, a little bit quiet, but thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's been a disaster, as you can probably expect.
I see.
Yeah. And hey, I've been late or absent for like half a show before, so it's not like I have ground to hold against you.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Mainly, I was just spending this time to talk about virtual reality and ramble and be like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Well, sorry I was a little late. I'm actually helping in the stagehand and production for a concert that's being performed. And I was just so busy that I didn't have time to come by at regular schedule. So I'm hoping that I can be able to make up a little bit.
Yay.
Hooray.
Yeah, Patricia, any opinions on Borderlands 2 VR and the fact that there's several features from Borderlands 2 that are going to be missing in action in the VR version, such as multiplayer? One of the main building blocks of Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands is basically just, you go to various locations.
Oh, yeah.
It's an open world game.
Cat Lunisco wants to point out that I also talked about artistic penis.
Oh. Well, Borderlands is a very open world game, and it's pretty limited when you're doing it in virtual reality. I can kind of see that, since I'm sure that it would kind of be a little bit buggy, but have you guys seen like a trailer or something, or like what's going to be featured in it besides the limited stuff, which is to be expected in virtual reality?
Well, they've shown off as Salvador, the gunzerker, when you're going gunzerking and you're dual wielding, you can use 2 move controllers to aim in 2 different directions with your 2 guns.
Mm-hmm.
And they are showing off BAMF mode. I can't remember. It's supposed to be like badass mega fun, which is like weird. It's like badass motherfucker. No, it's like badass mega badass not motherfucker. It's BAMF mode. It's BAMF time. It slows down time. So you can't really slow down time in a multiplayer game, because if one player slows down time, then everyone else is like, what's going on? And but that's got me thinking, like, why not just not have that mode in a multiplayer game?
Yeah, that does sound pretty annoying, because while one person's slowing down time and you're slowing down, it does kind of remove a lot of the fun in terms of what you can do in a multiplayer.
But what's frustrating to me is I like virtual reality in Borderlands so much I'm getting the game anyway, but I just feel like it should be so much better than it is.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe they couldn't really do too much in terms of having Borderlands on virtual reality, but I'm sure that...
I don't know, because I've played quite a lot of virtual reality. I know some things work better in virtual reality than others, but I also feel like a lot of games just weren't done well in VR, and that's the issue. Like Skyrim was ported pretty damn good. There are issues in VR, and I don't know if they've all been addressed yet or not. The fact that you have to go into a menu in order to change how fast you're walking in order to actually sneak up on someone in Borderlands in a Skyrim VR if you're playing with the move controllers. But in Doom VFR, if you're playing with the move controllers, you're not even allowed to walk. You can dodge in 4 directions, but it's straight back and straight to the side, but you're pressing the corner buttons, and it's really confusing how the hell it even works. And I have no damn idea half the time. It's so hard to play that game with the move controllers because in Doom you have to keep moving if you don't want to die, and if you're playing with the move controllers, you're either standing still or teleporting.
Right. I guess it depends on who's making the virtual reality game. Like maybe some developers are able to do it much better than others in terms of this is the game that we're doing and these are the ways that we can be able to make it more immersive for our players.
John Ratsey says he loves to kill chickens in Skyrim. No, that's living dangerously. You kill one chicken, the whole town comes for your head.
True.
Very true.
Imagine a cuckoo from Zelda. I mean, they'll go. The whole pack will go after you. Imagine that in virtual reality.
Jesse Guajardo says, "Did anyone see the 25th anniversary of Hocus Pocus event?"
No, I did see clips of it. Like the interviews, but no, I have not.
I am sad because I heard about that, but I did not get to see it, unfortunately.
I could have sworn it was one of the news articles you gave, but I was like...
Yeah, it was actually.
Oh.
Because Hocus Pocus is celebrating... I think it did celebrate its 25th anniversary because it came out in July, I think.
It was odd.
Yeah, that's another piece of history about the movie. It's like, no, those movies around that time, we don't want it to compete with those. So just put it in Halloween movie in July.
Yeah, for some reason back then they just had a term of like, let's release a scary movie around summer. Halloween H2O, and I think Resurrection did the same thing.
Satoshi Katsumoto says, "Hope Halo isn't sucked into the VR crap hole." No offense, Decker. Offense taken. VR is... Do you have any idea the glory of virtual reality? That's a no. That's a no. No one knows. No one cares. No one cares. They're like, I got a giant TV. Why are you strapping a small one to your eyes? Giant TV. I'm playing. I'm sitting on a couch.
Actually, I do know stories of virtual reality. I was introduced to them by way of Saban Home Entertainment.
Saban Home Entertainment.
Kind of an obscure reference. I don't know if anyone here is going to get that. Old TV show called Saban's VR Troopers. It came out during the Power Rangers era. I
can't recall. All I'm thinking about is images of Reboot. That's not. It's like, no, that's not it. That's not it.
But that's cyberspace. Not quite the same.
Daniel Jones is asking Decker, Chucky or Freddy or Michael or Jason, and given that it's kind of up between Freddy and Jason for me. Like I'd rather sit down and have a conversation with Freddy, but I don't know.
I mean, Freddy would definitely say a lot more. Jason wouldn't say anything, and neither would Michael. Although Michael does have more, like at least one more word than Jason.
Michael and Jason would have like the best little blind date.
Yeah, it would just be them sitting. It's like, so you drowned. So you were in an asylum, and then you got out and started killing people. You're my guy. We can get along.
They shot you 6 times? I shot you 6 times. I was buried and then struck by lightning.
And then Freddy Krueger chimes in, I was burned alive after I molested and murdered a bunch of kids. and then the whole room goes quiet. The whole room goes quiet. Everybody's staring at him. And he's like, what?
It's like he talks. He's not subtle. We are subtlety. We wear masks.
Freddy is just the poster child for Retin A.
Antoine Lashua says Michael is above them all. Agent Nibbles V asks, did you see the new Halloween? And yes, I have a reaction review of that, actually.
I have not seen it.
Even though I'm in my car, I am not screaming hysterically.
No.
As much as I got several comments on my the Predator reaction review of I hate these YouTubers and their fake rage. That wasn't fake.
No, you can tell. You can tell it wasn't.
Oh, we got the poll has finished.
Oh, awesome.
We got 40 votes in total.
Oh, cool.
That's the problem. If Patricia was here and she had put it on the chat sooner, we would have got more votes, but we didn't because I suck. Anyway, how are we going to fix YouTube? Going from least to most, maximize view potential got 5% of the votes.
Okay, well, if we have some people who are at least a bit optimistic.
So that's 2 votes out of 40.
What?
We got 3 votes, 8%. Integrate crossover flux.
I guess it depends. Yeah, I could see that.
And a good 20% agreed spiritual healing. And coming in at a whopping 67%, good old-fashioned hammer and duct tape.
Classic.
I keep grabbing my mouse to try. I got my Surface here, I got my desktop here, and I got my other desktop monitor here. Everything's all confusing.
I'm probably going to step out for just a minute so I can actually get into a better setting. So I'll be back in a few minutes.
Oh, God, no, please. No.
It's okay, relax. I'll be back at home in my computer, so I'll be back in 5 minutes.
5 minutes of my death.
Sorry, Decker. Catch you later.
Dang it.
I mean, a part of me is intensely amused by this, but then I realize, oh, wait, she's leaving me alone with you while you're like this. Damn it.
Anyway, let's, so there's news here. There's news. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know of this. I am interested, and I am going to stop with this fake accent bullshit and screen share. Shabaroom! NASA have named a constellation of stars after Godzilla. And now, for eternity, we will argue, is it Godzilla or is it Gojira?
NASA do some important work. They're out there every day trying to, understand space and stuff. Still, it's nice when they occasionally get to have a little bit of fun to distract themselves from the world of analyzing bits of rock and complicated math. Basically, they've named a constellation after Godzilla. I'm already upset because there's not a Mothra constellation yet. Okay, that shouldn't come off as that huge of a surprise when you think about it. The people who like rockets enough to understand how one works also like comic books and movies about gigantic lizard creatures. It figures. So they've decided to name a distant cluster of stars after the aforementioned Japanese monster. I'll let NASA explain. A statement reads, Godzilla ranks as one of cinema's most famous monsters and is among the most recognizable symbols of Japanese popular culture. In the original 1954 movie, nuclear weapons tests disturb the creature's deep ocean habitat, and it emerges from the sea to wreak havoc in Japan. Godzilla's trademark weapon is its heat ray, a fiery jet. This bears at least a passing resemblance to gamma-ray jets associated with black holes and neutron stars. I mean, why not just say that you think Godzilla is cool? Don't spoil it by making it about gamma-ray jets and bloody neutron stars. Okay, let's just try to explain this. Bear with me. The constellation that now bears the name of the famous kaiju is made up of stars that emit gamma-ray bursts, similar to the nuclear breath of Godzilla. Confused? Good. Well, get ready for this. NASA continued. Gamma-ray jets also occur in other types of astrophysics systems, when a massive star runs out of fuel and collapses under its own weight, or when two orbiting neutron stars spiral together and merge, a new black hole and high-speed jets may form. The result is a gamma-ray burst, the most powerful explosion in the cosmos. These monstrous blasts will occur somewhere in the distant universe every day, or so according to observations by Fermi's gamma-ray burst monitor, would make even Godzilla envious. Whatever you say, guys.
Yes.
Actually, this particular naming isn't the first time that NASA has shown their funny, if predictably nerdy, side when deciding what to call things. They're surprised that NASA was nerdy. I don't think
this is on ladbible.com. It's the frat boy magazine.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think NASA is the one that's confused or has the problem anymore.
So it's like, man, you gotta read the articles like this, like that gives you the real kind of inflection you need.
I don't think so. There are already stars named after the TARDIS from Doctor Who, the Starship Enterprise from Star Trek, and the Incredible Hulk from, well, the Incredible Hulk. When it comes to guessing the interest of NASA's scientists, you could say it's not rocket science. I get the feeling they thought they were being clever there.
You could say it's like not rocket science. But yeah. It's like this is like nah. Okay. No one special says since NASA is American, we'll be stuck with Godzilla, but we'll always be Gojira in our hearts. Satoshi Katsumoto says, name the next one Tatooine. Though that's not the name of that's a planet. It's got 2 stars, which does happen quite frequently in the universe, actually.
Right. Like there are multiple star systems, like not too far from here, that have more than one sun in them, if I'm not mistaken.
Satoshi Katsumoto also says, I see the TriStar Godzilla, the images, the memories, the babies, the little raptors that pop out. Oh boy. Oh god. Okay, so telescope and stage and use the fish. See, when they go to the Matthew Broderick Hydra. Okay. And Epic Jason X9000 says somewhere in space, Mogura is getting its ass kicked again. And he also says now you got to review Space Godzilla, since Godzilla is literally in space. Saying. Didn't NASA name a planet in a nearby solar system after planet Namek? Asks Armored Guardian. I'm not sure. I know that most planets and stars are technically named, but they're named like numerical classification. They're like, this star is this type, which is represented by this letter. It's about this big, which is represented by this number. It's this kind of one that we've actually found, which is represented by this order of number. And now its orbiting bodies are called are numbered after the star. So it's like LV426. That's like a legitimate kind of planet names.
So they're less like names and more like serial numbers.
Yeah.
So it's like the countries of the world were already gearing up to one day buy, sell, and trade planets.
Pale Fire is asking, are you guys planning on seeing Suspiria? And I have like the original Suspiria on Blu-ray, and I ripped it, and I wanted to watch that. I should go watch the new one. The new one's not going to be out for a little while longer where I live. I think, didn't it come out today in New York and LA or something? Or is it next week? Either way, I'm not going to be there for it.
Right. I mean, like you went to LA once before. I saw the video.
Yeah, but I didn't go to the theater while I was there. I went to Goodwill.
Right.
And I got pizza with John Massari.
That's true. That's true. And you got to see the Hollywood sign and that cave that was in that movie.
Yeah, that cave that was in like every movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably why I'm not remembering the name of the movie, because it was in every movie.
Pale Fire says, yeah, it's already out in LA and New York. And I'm trying to figure if it's like 1 week it'll be out in, nationwide, or if it's going to be a little bit longer. But either way, I want to see it when it comes out. Might do a reaction review of it. I have a car and I have a license, and I actually got my registration done now. So even if I do get pulled over, I'm not going to be in total shit. So, I'm happy about that. I got my registration. I finally got the guy who sold me the car to give me the title, and it was actually properly filled out. So I was able to go to the tax office and be like, hey, here. And they're like, that'll be $300. And I'm like, shit. Game. But I got it. I got the little sticker on the windshield. We're all good. We're all legal somehow. And yeah, it's fun. So,
it takes very little to make you happy, right?
oh yeah, don't think we can actually play this, but there was a video that Patricia sent about here, an actual 1979, it says, which is a little late, but audience reaction to Halloween. And did you ever look at any kind of video like that, creepy, like a video of audience reaction sounds from decades ago, like 70s and 80s?
Can't say that I ever have. I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. It's just I've never seen that before.
Well, it's kind of funny because it's like it tells me how much the audience really augmented the experience, and also at the same time how much I would absolutely hate if that's how theaters work today.
Well, there's also, I mean, like, also I think about it and I'm like, well, you know, back in like 79, which was 40 years ago, yeah, like almost 39 years ago. So like you bring a recorder into a theater and record how how the audience reacts to a film, that's recording something for posterity. You do that now, that's internet piracy in action.
Yeah. And it's like an audio recording for how everyone's reacting to certain points in the film.
Right.
Nicole7891 says, I just got an ad of a woman vacuuming in her underwear. Why? And I don't know. Are we selling underwear? Are we selling vacuums? Or does the vacuum come with underwear?
I have actually heard about this. Apparently there are, like, technically it counts as porn. There are websites where you can watch women do housework in sexy lingerie or underwear or whatnot, you know?
Oh yeah, clean those floors.
Right, exactly. Like, you know,
really appeals to the Central Texan.
right? I'm just like, part of me is, I'm just like almost fascinated by this, because you really have to think about the mindset that goes into someone whose sexual fetish is not watching women have sex or watching women pose sexily in lingerie, but watching women wear lingerie while doing housework. Like, this is their sexual fantasy and fetish. You know, this really does sound like...
Oh yeah, spread the mustard on that sandwich. What the fuck? Okay. So
now I wonder if there's... I have to wonder, though, is there a market for the opposite? Like, is there a market for, like, men wearing jock straps or going around shirtless doing things like construction?
Mowing the lawn?
Yeah, mowing the lawn, like fixing a toilet or unclogging a sink, or like building putting up a tool shed or something like that. Is there a market for something like that too? Because I do live in Mississippi, and there's probably a way that I could get this started.
Now I'm just thinking of there is I forget which thing it was. I think it was on the Chappelle Show. I just remember the image, the one skit where it was like the male stripper mowing the lawn wearing just, wearing the outfit, the male stripper outfit, mowing the lawn to ass and titties.
Okay, that's actually pretty funny.
I can't remember exactly what it was. Oh, God. So, David Mold says, hey, Decker, love your reviews. Thank you. The 80s version of Peter Weller and Kentwood Smith, not the remake with Michael Keaton in the bag. I missed a lot of the chat, didn't No, well, folding laundry. Folding laundry. Okay, which everyone's talking about doing housework while naked. Okay. Epic Jason X9000 says you should do a Christmas of Christopher Lambert. 4 films that immediately come to mind: Highlander, Fortress, Mortal Kombat, and Beowulf 1999. I think, did I see Beowulf? Was that the CGI one?
The CGI one came out in the mid-aughts. I remember that.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember watching it. I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it on pay-per-view. And like I had several people that I worked with at the time warning me about the infamous scene when Beowulf fights the Grendel in the hall. And
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. Memorable is one way to put it.
Yeah. I just like, honestly, I thought it was hilarious because, okay, like once, maybe twice, I can believe that. But when everything in the universe is trying to conceal this man's dick, it just hilarious. I'm just like, okay, candlestick, fruit basket, other guy's head, which is really, I mean, like if they were trying to make this less sexual, his head is pointing the wrong way. I feel like they failed miserably on this part.
Patrick Johnson says the 1999 Beowulf was a weird post-apocalyptic one with Chris Lambert. Okay. Now there's more news. What? There was news. I know there was news. Dear God. I'm pretty sure we had news. What? No. Oh, no. I have to click that because I don't want to believe it. Patricia, why do you send me these things? Do you want to torture me?
She does. I mean, you know this already.
Yes. And so, LeBron James in talks to produce Friday the 13th Reboot. Another one.
I was about to ask, how old is this thing?
It says October 22nd, 2018. That's just 4 days ago.
Oh, you're right. Oh, it was in tiny, tiny font that was very hard to see. Right.
Okay.
Oh, man.
LeBron James is slashing his way through Hollywood, having already attached himself to produce the hotly anticipated sequel to Space Jam. The active NBA superstar turned producer is heading to Camp Crystal Lake. Bloody Disgusting is exclusively hearing that James and his Spring Hill Entertainment is currently in talks with Vertigo Entertainment to produce a reboot of Friday the 13th because the last 2 movies, fuck it, start over again. After Halloween's mega 700 million plus opening the past weekend, Halloween, what the fuck is a new Friday the 13th is a no-brainer, especially when you consider James' popularity combined with a massive horror experience of Vertigo, who was behind last year's Stephen King adaptation of It, as well as The Ring, The Strangers, and The Grudge. So this is going to be the Friday the 13th of It. Okay. This is a match made in heaven, James said to be a huge horror fan. And if you recall, James slayed last year's Halloween with his legendary Pennywise costume and even released Friday the 13th themed sneakers. There's also that one time he rocked the Jason Voorhees mask while driving, which is not safe. Don't do it.
No.
Okay. That's just a hockey mask. That's not a Friday. That's just a hockey mask.
Yes.
Okay, this news comes to the heels of the original Friday the 13th screenwriter Victor Miller prevailing out of a lengthy legal battle in which U.S. District Court Judge Stephen Underhill granted summary judgment in favor of Miller and against the producers, Horror Incorporated. While the latter is appealing, Miller currently has the U.S. rights to Friday the 13th, which includes the locations and characters within the story. In the 1980 film directed by Sean S. Cunningham, nothing gets revenge and camp counsels after their neglect results in the death of their son, Jason, and we're probably going to ignore that for the most part and jump straight to Jason again.
Right.
The powerhouses involved in the next film will be looking at what could become the biggest horror film of all time. Okay, you're really hyping this up too much. Like, dial it back a bit. Be excited, but this is... No. Don't. No. Okay. So then. Okay. Antoine Lachua says, that mask sucks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I feel like that would impede his vision even more than an actual Jason mask.
Doomsday Kingdom fan community says, new sub, great content, brother. Even if I disagree with some of your opinions on movies, great seeing horror making a comeback. And it's fine if you disagree. I hope that even if you don't agree with my assessment, I at least describe the movie accurately enough that even if I don't like it, you can figure out if you like it. That's my hope. Okay, Epic Jason X9000, can we just get a new Wishmaster instead, please? And I could deal with that. Even a reboot of Wishmaster, because the last two movies in that series, oh god.
They were pretty bad.
Yeah. Jade Coyote K says, hashtag leave Jason alone. What the hell? HTB 2750 says, hey Decker, speaking of reboots, what's your thoughts on the new Doom reboot? Oh no, not the game, the movie reboot with a potential Doom girl. And that's kind of intriguing because number one, I didn't hear about a new Doom reboot. Number two, the Doom movie really wasn't very good. It wasn't very good for Doom. Bethesda's new Doom games really bring Doom back to its roots in a really modern way that is very fun. And I feel like that could be a fun ride, but the reason it works is because like Doom Guy in Bethesda's new Doom games doesn't talk. He just kills shit a lot, violently. So I'm trying to figure, like, well, at best, Doom Girl will be covered head to toe in armor and not say anything.
Right.
So, I mean, their gender really has no bearing on anything, like, at all. Not even the pitch of their voice, really. They don't talk. So I'm just trying to figure out why. I mean, why not? But why? Huh? I'm confused. Benny asks, "Have you thought about a Mars Attacks review?" And I remember that movie as it's kind of. I'm trying to think. Like that was on the heels of like that. That was around the time where you had like Eight-Legged Freaks and such, and the sort of nostalgia, but kind of poking fun at the nostalgic kind of monster movie and science fiction and all that. It wasn't like serious while being fun like Independence Day. It had serious moments in it. Characters died horribly, but it was very, very tongue-in-cheek.
Right. That's what I remember. It was more of a comedy than in sci-fi or horror. It was basically a nod to like alien invader movies from the 50s, except like again played for comedy instead of drama.
So like the ending. When we rebuild, I think that maybe we should have teepees instead of houses because they're better in a lot of ways. Oh boy. What the hell? What the hell? Okay. I decided to click back on the Twitter poll to see if there were actually any comments on it because I didn't do that before. And there's a picture from Kat Luniska. So I will get the healers for this, all religions and abilities, and by I mean my people, hermit crabs. Find the healers for your healing. Here's a hermit crab on a succulent. And there's just a picture here of a hermit crab on a succulent.
Okay.
I'm like, all right. And there's also a comment from Sanjiro Gels saying, "We'll fix it by seizing the means of production, comrade." Okay, so that's what my attention was arrested by for a moment there. Okay. Now, what else is... Oh, Super Nintendo World theme park under construction. That's nice.
Didn't we cover that?
A bit. I think there were some plans on it. I don't know about... Because it being constructed, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Why? Why would anyone ever do that? Oh, no.
Do what? Huh. Well, they did make a sequel in the form of a manga. Again, this was like back in 06, 07, so... And since we are here, and since this is a thing we're looking at, you know what has to happen, Decker.
We have to... No.
Yes.
Now, you will not mesmerize me with your shiny balls.
You remind me of the Babe.
So.
Damn it, Decker. How many people want to hear Decker and me do that?
No, I don't know it.
Come on, speak up. Speak out loud.
No one of importance says a sequel to Labyrinth. God, no! And Ryan Beebe correctly points out David Bowie's crotch bulge can never be redone.
That's true.
Oh, boy. Oh, God. Oh, the chat. Okay. So should I read this, or do you want to read this, or who's reading?
I think I should read this.
Okay.
It's been more than a year since we heard the director Fede Alvarez, Don't Breathe, had teamed up with Lisa Henson of the Jim Henson Company to develop a continuation of Labyrinth, the cult classic fantasy tale about a young girl, Jennifer Connelly, who enters a strange world to retrieve her baby brother from a goblin king, David Bowie. In the months since that news, we've seen new Labyrinth comics emerge. Heard the film might be adapted for the stage and more, but we've heard very little about the film itself. Now, Alvarez is providing us with a brief but interesting update. Speaking to Fandango about his new film, The Girl in the Spider's Web, Alvarez reveals that he's just touched base with Henson again, and that while we still don't know when we might see the next chapter of Labyrinth, the project, at least, has a script. I was actually having lunch yesterday with Lisa Henson, and we reconnected with that project, Alvarez revealed. We're very excited about it. It's basically a direct continuation of the first movie many, many years later, and I can't tell you much more about it, but we have a script, and we're very excited about it. So we'll see where that goes. Like always, it takes time and effort to put those movies together because they're larger than life, but that's one of the projects that I'm very excited about. The original Labyrinth film did not initially have the same kind of overwhelming response it gets now from fans, but over time it became one of the most recognizable and beloved cult classics to emerge from the 1980s. It spawned attempts at continuing the story in various ways on the page before, but it's never returned to the screen. Now, in an era of peak nostalgia, the Jim Henson Company seems determined to make that happen, and while Alvarez is excited to be a part of the journey, he does seem to be a bit too cautious to declare we're definitely going to see the film. You never know, and really right now I'm just finishing with this film, so I'm not even thinking about what I'm going to do next, he said. But all I can tell you is that I had lunch with Henson yesterday, and it was great.
Nice lunch. Yeah.
He had a sandwich, and that's all he's telling us. Sadly, that's all we have right now. This whole article can be summed up as he had a sandwich. That's all. And I'm not even get rid of it. I'm like, come back when you actually have something for me.
Oh boy. Kat Liniska says, "Excuse me, I shall be screaming." Oh, boy. Oh, we had a super chat earlier. It's a DirectX231 says, "Hey Decker, ever reviewed Virtuosity? If so, then what about Young Einstein? Take care and keep up the good work." And I have not reviewed either of those. I'm trying Young Einstein. I'm thinking of Young Frankenstein. I got the wrong thing in my head. I don't know what Young Einstein is. Or Virtuosity. What's going on? I'm a bad movie reviewer. I am bad at my job. Bad Decker. I should just stick to climbing on giant stone artistic penises.
Oh man.
Oh boy. So, Benny says never seen Labyrinth, but creepy and you doing a review would be neat. What about a Monster Squad review?
I would be okay with that. Have you ever seen Monster Squad, Decker?
Not that I can recall. Or did I?
Basically, a group of kids.
Does Wolfman have nards?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Is that the one I'm thinking of?
You're either thinking of that or you're thinking of Into the Woods, the stage version. Like they didn't show Johnny Depp's nards in the live action film version of Into the Woods.
I'm thinking of the Wolfman getting kicked in the nards. It's like, does Wolfman have nards? Whack! Oh, Wolfman's got nards.
Yep, that's Monster Squad. That's Monster Squad.
Oh boy.
Basically, a group of Dracula brings a bunch of Universal property monsters to a small town, and a bunch of kids are the only ones who can stop him.
And Jesse Guajardo is asking, Decker, can you review Dracula is Dead and He's Loving It? And I believe that's Dracula Dead and Loving It, but with Leslie Nielsen.
Right. It's basically a comedy version of Dracula.
Yeah, where you can't see Dracula in the mirror, but you can see who he's dancing with, and they're dancing around, and then he just kind of picks her up and he's spinning around, and you see her just spinning around in the mirror.
Right. Or then you have Mina walk to the door. Slam. Mina, you are in the closet.
The lady's just kind of hovering out of the door, and Dracula turns to them and stop that. Oh god, that had its good moments. Cheesy as hell, but that's the point.
Yes.
DirectX231 dropped $5 saying, "Hey Decker, Virtuosity is a sci-fi action movie starring Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe in his most over-the-top role ever." Sci-fi action, very over-the-top. $5. I like this. Oh boy. So then, so, where is Patricia? Okay. Oh, this is a interesting little bit here, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what it's talking about because all I have to work on is the. Let's see.
Is the vague, long, awkward pauses.
Good. This seems nice. White Wolf 715 dropped $5 saying, "Hey Decker, have you heard about the potentiality of LeBron James co-producing a new Friday the 13th? Kind of has me concerned. Thoughts? I think we just talked about that in an earlier article.
Yeah, we did.
And we were both like, what? Why? We already had a reboot series going, and then you're just going to reboot it again?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
We also talked about how they will most likely skip Mrs. Voorhees and jump straight to Jason.
And that's, I mean, on the one hand, that's kind of what a lot of fans really want. But at the same time, could they maybe do like the original Rob Zombie Halloween sort of did, where the first half of the movie is covering one aspect of one kind of self-contained story, and the second half is another sort of self-contained story.
Isn't that what you hated about that movie?
Well, it made it disjointed, but at the same time, you could give enough time to actually have Mrs. Voorhees' story happen, and then also have Jason in the first movie, technically.
Basically, like the first half of the first hour or the first 45 minutes is Mrs. Voorhees going on Jason. She thinks Jason died. She snaps. She goes on a killing spree, and Crystal Lake is shut down. Then 15, 20 years later, come to find out, no, Jason wasn't dead. He survived somehow in the same confusing and vague way that they never explained in the movie series. And, so then he's going around killing the people who are trying to get Camp Crystal Lake started back up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's the news article, if I can ever learn my job. Boom. So this here says that why is that flashing on my screen? Is it flashing for you?
Yes.
God, why? So, copyright law just got better for video game history. In a series of rulings, the Library of Congress has carved out a number of exemptions that will help the movement to archive and preserve video games. Yeah. New ruling from the Library of Congress is good news for video game preservation. An 85-page ruling covered everything from electronic aircraft controls to farm equipment, diagnostic software. The Librarian of Congress carved out. Why do they keep using that term? Carved out. Fair use exemptions in the Digital Millennium Copyright Act for video games and software in general. These exemptions will make it easier for activists to save historic video games and for museums to share that cultural history with the public. The acting register found that the record supported granting an expansion in the relative discrete circumstances where preservation institution legally possesses a copy of video game server code and the game's local code. Ooh! Librarian of Congress said, in such circumstances, the preservation activities described by proponents are likely to be fair uses. Oh, God. I'm not good with big words. Don't do this. The rules are definitely good news for single-player games. A big change for single-player games happened during the last DMCA review process in 2015 when the Copyright Office decided that museums and archives could break the online authentication for single-player titles that were just phoning home to a server for copy protection reasons. Oh, you play games. Washington, D.C. area librarian and archivist who runs the observatory site focused on discussing and preserving obscure old games, told Motherboard the 2015 ruling was due to expire this year, but thanks to pressure from activists, it was renewed today instead. These rules are a big win. Kendra Albert, a clinical instructional fellow at the Cyber Law Clinic at Harvard Law School, told Motherboard. Albert represented the Software Preservation Network, which was one of the parties arguing for the change at the Copyright Office. The 2015 rules cracked the door open for many things, but the exemptions that were granted here are potentially much, much broader. Today's news should be good for archivists and museums who've long struggled with the best way to preserve video games such as EverQuest or World of Warcraft. Multiplayer games like these require both software that players run on their computers locally and software running on a company's server, software that is much harder for historians to get their hands on and run. And when they do manage to get the independent server running, big game companies like Blizzard have taken legal action against people running unauthorized servers. The new rules will be disappointing for average users who had hoped to get abandoned multiplayer games up and running again just for fun. I was told Motherboard that the Museum of Art and Digital Entertainment pushed to make these exemptions cover affiliate archivists, allowing private citizens to contribute towards software preservation. The Copyright Office specifically rejected that request. They said, I think one thing that they are concerned about is that the number of people who do this work should stay relatively small. It's also a catch for the institutions that do this work. Archivists and preservationists have to acquire the server code legally, and that's a tall order. Oh, okay. So that's yes. Okay. That's we know what's going on there. Whew, my tongue, my lips, my jaw.
I understood about a third, maybe, if I'm being generous, of what you said.
Leading blind saying, slow down, Motormouth Mike. And it's like, but you saw the size of that article that I stopped halfway. I was like, geez, that's enough. We get the idea. We know what's going on. We got new copyright exemptions in place, citing fair use, but specifically for archivists. So things like it's kind of weird because like there used to be other exemptions in place that aren't in place anymore, which is really frustrating to me because as a movie reviewer, the Digital Millennium Act, the Copyright Act, gives me the exemption that I am legally allowed to rip movies that I purchase. However, it used to be, before the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, everyone was allowed to, just not distribute it. If you're doing it for personal use, that's considered format shifting. It was defended as fair use. Digital Millennium Copyright Act removed that.
Right.
And it had to be added again later, but it was added with limitations for people like me. So if you're an individual, you're still technically not legally allowed to format shift, even though people do it all the time, because you're not hurting anybody and you're not leaving a trail anywhere except in your own damn house. So it's a weird thing. Cat Luniska says, "Oh, I am breaking that law. I never distribute it. I just watch it at home." It's like, yeah. And before the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, that was considered protected under fair use. But after, it's not, unless is like the funny thing is like you have to distribute it in some fashion in order for it to be legal. Because I make videos, because I use fair use in that way, that makes it legal. If I weren't doing that, it wouldn't be, which is really, really confusing. Though technically I've ripped Suspiria already, and I intend to watch it myself, and I don't know if I'm going to review it yet. So yeah, I'm breaking the law there, technically. But, so I guess I'll have to write a review for that movie and show it to the world in order to be able to actually do it legally. God damn it. And then I'll have to defend myself against a whole bunch of copyright claims on that video.
True.
What if I watch it at home after ripping it and say, this sucks, and this is why? Is that illegal still? No. That's a review. That is fair use. Now, if you show the whole thing during a review, then that's it's not transformative enough. It still has to fall into fair use in those senses. It's all weird. All the laws are weird. They don't make sense. But I'm trying my best to understand them. This is my job. Well, it's not my job for that, but it helps my job. Okay. Scott Yoshihara says, "Please do, bro. It's a really good movie." I believe it's talking about Suspiria. And I'm talking about the original Suspiria I got. I don't have the new one that just came out today in LA and New York, because, well, it just came out today, and I'm pretty sure it's on Pirate Bay, but I don't go there, so. Oh. Okay. Dr. Giggles, ever heard of that movie? Not that I can recall.
I have.
Leading Blind says, "Like my stupid copyright claim for Dangerous Liaisons images." And yeah, that was a very, very, very stupid copyright claim against Leading Blind. Their review of Dangerous Liaisons really was just still images. Just still images that they were talking over. They didn't even have clips. They had pictures, and they were describing the movie. And it got hit with a copyright claim. It's so clearly and just unquestionably fair use to use those images in that sense.
Right. I do remember Dr. Giggles, though. Basically, a serial killer doctor is involved, and it's actually more of a horror comedy than a straight-up horror movie. But it does have some very gory moments at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, so then, where's Patricia? She's gonna come back at any time. I don't know. But there was this. What's this? There's another thing about the outage here. I don't know if I should. It's a short thing. I'm not even going to bother screen sharing this. But this article here on USA Today saying Talking Tech, YouTube TV offers subscribers a free week of services as an apology for the recent outage. So, okay, when this frustrated okay, sorry about that. Okay, if you have a YouTube TV account, head over to the support page and enter your YouTube TV account email address, and Google will credit your account for the 1 week, which is roughly $10. That's why is YouTube TV is just expensive, and I'm like, why the hell would anyone ever get YouTube TV? But if you did, you can get $10 back over on the support page because of the outage. Just you have to go to the support page and claim it, though. You don't just get it. Even though everyone who had YouTube TV had to suffer through the outage, you still have to do the legwork in order to actually get credited for having to deal with the outage. Nicole7891 saying, Patricia, Decker can't last 1 minute without you.
We really can't. And I'm no good at all because I'm just here to poke at Decker and watch him fall apart faster.
Scott Yoshihara saying, love this singing. Leading Blind says, Princess Vespa is about to go all bass. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Okay. Now, this is something here. Is this a... Okay, so this is on Drama Alerts. There's a thing about... no, don't autoplay, don't play. I don't want you to do that. It's a controversial YouTuber Leafy is here returned from a nearly 10-month hiatus to speak with Drama Alert host Keemstar, where he explained what had caused him to leave the platform indefinitely. So he's still gone, or is it 10-month hiatus? But he's back, but he's gone? I don't know. So this is another short little article here. So I'm just going to really quickly read it out. Levy explained that making daily videos had burnt him out, and that YouTube's changes towards monetization, censorship, and copyright had incited his break back in December of 2017. And yeah, that was after about a year worth of dealing with the adpocalypse and all the stuff like that. Yeah, frustrating, very much. Understand. And December is like it's generally a very strong performing month. And for me, at least, November of 2017 was the first November ever to perform less than October, and December 2017 was the first December ever to perform less than November. It was just like down, 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 down. It's like, what the hell is going on? That's part of what inspired me to make Live and Wired, actually, because it was just I was getting just so much. So it was just so frustrating dealing with YouTube and YouTube's concentrated bullshit, and I decided to try and put that energy towards something constructive. And live feeds are a nice thing. Engagement helps the channel a lot, but I didn't want to just do live stream for the sake of a live stream. I wanted to have something that had a point to be live. And audience participation, I think, is important. I need to read the chat more often, but yeah. Okay, who is? Okay, Cat Luniska says, "Fuck him," and fuck. I am not a fan of him, and he is back crap. Goes to block his channel. You okay?
Okay.
So yeah. So YouTube itself is just becoming worse and worse over time, Leafy answered. The monetization yellow things are frustrating to deal with. There were so many changes, the entire platform was running. And yeah, a lot of YouTube heard people's concerns about the yellow monetization signs, and they changed it. Now they just show green, even if it's what would be yellow before. They're just like, okay, fuck it. If any ads are playing on it, it's going to be green, even though it's not. It's just, even if it only applies for like weird ads about people mowing while wearing lingerie. Or sweeping, not mowing. Okay, they could mow the carpet. I don't know. Okay, he also criticized YouTube's trending page as an issue that bothered him, citing BuzzFeed and other trending channels as shit that turned him away from the platform. it wasn't just one big thing that happened. He continued. It was slow. More and more things just add on top of it, and eventually it was just a straw that broke the camel's back. Leafy admitted that he thought about returning to YouTube now and again, but ultimately held that he wouldn't be able to voice his opinion as he used to on his channel. Leafy is here was at the center of multiple controversies before his hiatus, catching flack for his videos criticizing creators like autistic YouTuber Tommy MC 2010, and eventually Keemstar himself. This led to a slew of allegations from YouTubers like iDubbbz and Nick Cash. I have no idea who the hell any of these people are. I don't follow drama. I mean, I know Keemstar because he's like the drama guy, but I don't know anyone else.
Right. I'm at a loss for who these people are too, because I mean, like, there are some YouTubers that I do follow, but I don't follow, like, I don't have a long ass list of YouTubers that I follow. It's more just a small few, and I'm like, yeah. I think the biggest name YouTuber that I am subscribed to and that I do follow, I get, like, anytime he does an update, I receive an alert for it, is Markiplier. Like, that's just about the only big name that I am subscribed to.
I'm subscribed to Jacksepticeye. I don't know if I'm subscribed to Markiplier, but my fiance is subscribed to Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie, and I'm watching more PewDiePie's more recent stuff, and he's actually grown on me a bit. I know. I'm sorry.
Yet you are the one with the nude Markiplier poster calendar.
It's tasteful news. Tasteful.
Still nude.
And the money went to cancer research.
Uh-huh. You could have just donated the money directly to cancer research and not.
But then I wouldn't have a tasteful nudes calendar signed by Markiplier.
That's kind of the point I was going for.
Okay.
Again, I ask myself, like, how is it that I have how is it I'm the creepy one?
There was one of the comments was talking about, I think Leafy is here's video saying that pretty much he just copied other people's videos, uploaded them to his channel, and just cut and insulted them. And I think that's like a basic kind of reply video format, where effectively you show the entire video of the YouTuber you're replying to, but it's all cut up and you are responding. But of course, negativity gets clicks and all that. And like it says here at the end of the article, it says he admits that his hit piece on Keemstar had been for the AdSense, which Keemstar seems to have taken in good spirits. Leafy is now investing in stocks and bonds, and even teased that he might make a return to YouTube in the future.
So it was nothing personal. I was just using your image and voice and content to make money for myself.
By just insulting you and just
through defamation of character.
Doing a hit piece. Yeah. Defamation of character. Or I don't know. It's like, if it's true, is it defamation? No. But it could still be a hit piece. I don't know. But it's like, it's just for the money. He's like, that's fair. You got paid. Thanks. Uncreative Deconstructionism dropped $2 saying, I love your stuff, Decker. Thank you very much. Leafy doesn't even play Stalker, says Judson Joyst. And I need to play Stalker now, because now people can say that about me.
You're going to get paid to play a game where you stalk things? That seems oddly appropriate for you.
Oh, boy. Cat Luniska says artistic penis.
Artistic penis.
Damn it.
That's going to come back to haunt you one day.
Will it? Like, the word's artistic. It's artistic. At what point in history in the future, will one be held up to such a standard of behavior that artistic penis is something that is going to be a gotcha? I can think of plenty of worse shit that's come out of my mouth. Shit's come out of my mouth.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so since we're on the subject, a subject that you started and brought up, I just want to add, who has the most artistic penis?
I need to see more penis. that's gonna be fucking clipped. God damn it. Fortunately, this isn't on Twitch yet, so people can't just quickly do that. Okay. So I'm trying to look at what else there was sent going around and such. And okay. Here's a little piece of news from GoNintendo.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Missed an okay. Okay.
Sega is close to making Dreamcast games on Switch a reality. According to a recent interview from Famitsu, Sega's Naoki Hori stated the Nintendo Switch was close to successfully running Dreamcast titles via emulation. Hori also explained that because the developers still have the source code for many of the Dreamcast games, they could theoretically remake or port over certain Dreamcast games altogether. However, for the time being, Sega is leaning more towards simply emulating the games instead. Whether or not Sega will continue to push forward with their Dreamcast on Switch development is still a mystery, but at least we are one step closer to that possibility. So, Dreamcast on Switch. Okay. Do you have it?
Odd.
Are you familiar with the Dreamcast, Mr. Guy?
Yes, actually, it was the one of, if not the last console system created by Sega.
The last, as far as I know.
Right, the last one created by Sega. It was their last ditch attempt to stay in the console game before they just gave up and decided to make video games and license them out to second and third parties. But the Dreamcast, ironically, has been hailed as Sega's best system. Like,
so not only Sega's best system, but like the best system of its very short lifespan. It's like you had the Saturn, you had the Dreamcast, Dreamcast, and it was going for 1 year by itself, pretty much, and for one more year against the PlayStation 2, and then it no longer existed. But the first year of PlayStation 2 didn't have that many good things going for it. The PlayStation 2 sold like hotcakes as a DVD player.
Right. It was, one of the major things that made the PS2 a hot topic at the time was the fact that the PS2 could play DVDs, video games, and CDs.
And the PlayStation 2 could run PlayStation 1 games better than a PlayStation 1.
Exactly. Yeah, that was another thing too. You did not have to give up playing. You could have a PlayStation 2, get rid of your PS1, but keep your PS1 games and play them on the PlayStation 2, and it would actually be a better experience than playing them on the PS1. But the Sega Saturn, the funny thing about it is that I don't really remember hearing any truly bad things about the Sega. Sorry, I said Sega Saturn. About the Sega Dreamcast. It's just that it didn't sell well enough to keep Sega afloat, and I feel like the problem with that is not the Dreamcast's fault in and of itself. The Dreamcast, as far as consoles of that time period, like you said, Decker, it was damn near perfect. But by that point, Sega had gained a bit of a reputation. Sega had a bit of Sega was a company who had games that people wanted to play, but not on the console that the games were made for. Like, their games were good, but their systems were crap. Or at the very least, their systems were nowhere near as good as they tried to make them out to be.
And it was all the hardware upgrades. It was like every time you turn around, you had to buy a new Sega.
Right, exactly. And you know, like there was that, there was all the upgrades you had to do to it. I also remember hearing a lot about how it seemed like Sega's broke down a little bit easier than
Catlin is asking, wasn't Sega like anti giving their games to America for a while? And I think Sega of America had a thing where they were just not interested in games unless they were 3D, which was not the Saturn strong suit. So you had a lot of really good Japanese Saturn games that just didn't come over because they were 2D.
Right, exactly, and which they shot themselves in the foot with that one. But like the Sega was much more popular in Japan than it was in America. I believe one that was one major reason why.
A lot of great games in Japan, and also the absolute best marketing of the era with Segata Sanshiro.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I mean,
you got to understand, the Japanese culture has a thing for puns. They fucking love puns. And there was a popular personality of some sort. I'm not certain exactly who, except I know that their name was Sugata Sanshiro. Mm-hmm. And so Sega had the Segata Sanshiro, and they had the jingle, which was Segata Sanshiro, Segata Sanshiro, Sega Satan Shiro, which sticks in your head, and Sega Saturn Shiro means effectively you have to play Sega Saturn.
You must play Sega. Yeah.
So it was like the best fucking marketing you could have in Japan at the time, and it really fucking worked.
Right. But anyway, you know, like in America, you know, their systems had a poor reputation, at least here in the United States. Again, the Sega Mega Drive, which was the Sega Saturn,
No. Sega Mega Drive was the Sega Genesis.
Okay, Sega Genesis. Thank you. But it did much better in Japan than it ever did in the United States. But in fact, it even beat out Nintendo for a while there in the 90s as the better system. But anyway, by the time the Dreamcast came along in the United States, Sega had a bit of a poor reputation. And I feel like that was working against them. And there was also the fact that Sega had made some poor decisions business-wise. One being, like you said, Decker, they got to the point where they weren't bringing over games unless they were 3D, and that wasn't the Sega Saturn strong suit. So by the time they got to a 3D system that could play 3D games and do that really, really amazingly, well, people were just like, well, yeah, but it's a Sega system, so that means it's going to break, or it's going to not be worth the maintenance that, you know, you're going to have to do on it all the time to upgrade it, or just they'll stop making games for it or something else like that. You know, so people were just like, yeah, this is probably the best system that Sega's ever made and the best system to come out, you know, all the time, but it's made by Sega, so it's automatically crap. You know?
There was an expansion bay on the Sega Dreamcast to hook it into a potential new piece of hardware to enhance it in some way later, which sounds like a really cool thing to have. It's like, hey, here's the thing that you're going to plug something into later that's going to make it even better. But people had already been dealing with Sega doing that for a while, and they were kind of sick of it.
Right.
It's like, here's your Sega Genesis. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a Sega CD. There are really bad games for this one.
Right.
Now, put this on, and it's the 32-bit 32X. And there are games that you need both of these on, and it's all kind of taking all your plugs up. If you've seen the Angry Video Game Nerd, it's not an exaggeration. That's exactly how it was. He's not overstating that. He's actually making it less of a deal than it really was. But yeah, you got this, and this was like the people behind it, the hardware developers were pretty much told that this was going to be their next generation system, and then it only had a lifespan of like a year before Sega said, well, here's the Saturn, it's the actual next generation.
Right.
Like, and people already knew the Saturn was coming before the 32X launched.
Right. And again, remember, like you said, you know, all these different things plugged into each other, but these were all separate components. If one of these things broke, you had to you were pretty much fucked. Like, your whole system is now worthless just because this one additional component, you know, that you attach to it isn't working properly anymore. So you've got to go out and replace it.
Yeah, and So then after that, you got the Saturn, and Saturn did okay in Japan, but Saturn didn't have too long of a lifespan itself. I mean, it came out in America in '94 or '5.
No, I want to say 95, but maybe it was 94.
I think it might have come out in '94. Maybe it had a 5-year span. But 1999 was the launch in America for the Dreamcast.
Right.
It's 99.99.
Right.
And I was a Sega kid, so I was there day one. Like, yeah, give me my Dreamcast, and I enjoyed the games that came out for it, and it was just like slowly, just kind of started less and less and less and less, and then they're like, yeah, we're not making them anymore.
Right. And a lot of people were pissed about it too, because the people who did invest in the Dreamcast and were singing its praises felt like they had their money and their time wasted.
Yeah, you know? I remember what pissed me off the most was like when they had like some MTV, some show with something like Cribs or whatever the hell it was. And it was they were interviewing people, and half the damn time, whatever teen celebrity, like, you know, rap star stuff is like, hey, what's your favorite game system? It's like, actually, and it's like 2003, they're asking this, and they're like, that's the Dreamcast. It's just too bad they're not making them anymore. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why didn't you like it before, you son of a bitch?
Yeah, that's from you, Decker. It was like, too bad there wasn't YouTube or a camera on you at the time. That would have felt appropriate by now.
Oh boy. Okay, what? $399.99. What's going on with Carnival Sega Genesis? Carnival. I think I heard of that, but I never played it. AVGN is going to do a Resident Evil Survivor review. Oh god, did I play that one? Was that the first person one? Like the first person one where you played Vincent, and it has the stupidest damn story. I think, was that for Survivor?
Maybe.
For PlayStation 1, I want to say.
I do remember. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of something else. I was going to bring up a game that I remember came out in the mid '90s. It was called Ground Zero Texas, but it was not a Sega Dreamcast game. It was a
Sega CD
game. Yeah. That was actually supposedly one of the very few, if not only halfway decent games for the Sega CD that, you know, people actually liked. And even then, as I hear it, it was buggy as hell.
It was cheesy as fuck. But I also the special effects weren't exactly top notch because it was all live action. Mm-hmm. So you'd shoot the alien from there, and the alien would do the actor would do the big jump and kick the legs in the air and fall back, and you'd see in between his thigh and his crotch some blue jeans. Resident Evil Survivor was sort of FPS, but it was all kinds of fail because it spliced FPS together with arcade rail shooter, plus it refers to shotgun shells as shotgun bullets. Wait, was that a Wii game then? I'm trying to remember. There was other, but there was a game on PlayStation 1, I believe, where it was a Resident Evil game in Japan. It was a light gun game where the light gun had a D-pad on it, and you would walk around and you would shoot the screen for the zombies, and you played as this fuck nugget called Vincent. I just remember it was like he had amnesia, of course.
I want to say that Lotus Prince did a Let's Play of that.
I believe it.
I want to say that, yeah. Because that sounds familiar. A Resident Evil game where you're walking around like that, and it's light gun based. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I just remember he had an amnesia and is like finding notes of this horrible person called Vincent, and then he finds out he's Vincent. It's like, I'm Vincent, and it's Resident Evil acting on PlayStation 1. But the story was also just crap on top of it, so I didn't care about this guy at all.
Vincent was not the master of unlocking.
But yeah, in America, it never came out with the gun that was designed for that game. It was just played on the regular DualShock or regular PlayStation controller. I don't know if it necessarily required the DualShock. I don't think it did. I don't know if it had a DualShock mode, but I know it wasn't a very good game.
Mm-hmm.
It was really hard to aim at a zombie's head with the freaking sticks. It was like, just I wish I had the light gun to go with it. I feel like the game would have been a lot more fun with that. Like, oh, go around this corner, pop, done. Mm-hmm. Play it like I do a VR game today. That reminds me. It was really fun playing laser tag with you. Shooting you in the back.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
I was like, you shot me in the back.
Well, you can still see a bit behind you, I think, in screen mode.
In screen mode, a little bit, but it's very hard. But like, it's not. It doesn't give me the huge advantage that you're describing it as, because even though I can see a little bit behind me, like I can only see you if you are like right up behind me. And
so then, it's just like Decker.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Although I did enjoy kicking your ass at bowling, though. That was fun.
I did just because it's really difficult with the PlayStation VR's fiddly ass wands to actually bowl. No, we weren't on the same team. Well, we were on one point, but I did actually. Did I shoot you when we were on the same team? I think I did, but I don't. It doesn't do anything when we're on the same team.
Right. In the bowling, no, it was we were against each other in the bowling game, but in paintball and in laser tag, yeah, we were on different teams.
I think paintball we were on the same team. I think we did like one round of paintball where we were against 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 4, 4, 4 games.
Numbers. Just say numbers.
Yeah, but there's another guy called Numbers, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, well, fuck then. Okay, but anyway, yeah, I want to say there was at least one time when we were on the same team. I do remember that there was like this one point where I did not shoot him in the back, but I was like hiding behind I was like camped out beside his flag, and then when he came around the corner, I like shot him, grabbed the flag, and then took off. And I was like, "Okay, Decker, cover me!" Bang! And he got me like when I was halfway there. And I was like, "Damn it, Decker, where were you?"
I don't know where I was at that time. I just know it's just. It's fun. It's intense in VR though. It's just like cover, duck, just. But it was also kind of fun because I got to cheat a little bit. Because I could see where the pellets for the shotgun paintball shotgun pellets, where they ceased to exist.
Right.
And I was like in a standoff with Numbers.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm behind a little cover, and then I see the pellets come, and they actually stopped like 3 inches before they reached me. Depth perception is beautiful in virtual reality. But I realized there's no way he's actually going to hit me from there. So I had a handgun, which had better range. So I just stood there, tempting him, and I just fired out at him. And he was like, "What the heck? It just did nothing." I'm like, "Yeah, it just ceased to exist at that point." It took him out there. It's like, yeah. That's why I hate video game shotguns so much sometimes, though.
Right. It was yeah, like I got the shotgun at one point, and I was like, I felt like I shouldn't have been surprised, but at the same time, I was like, oh, on this, they decided to go with physics, and they make it to where it has absolutely no goddamn range on it. So I was like, fire, and like they go maybe just a couple of feet away from me before they piddle out, and I
think they have like a 25-foot range.
Yeah, it is not far at all. The range on the shotgun in paintball for Rec Room is not far.
Yeah, that face-off between me and Numbers, he was in the base, and I was behind the first barricade from the base.
Right.
It was about as close as it's intended to happen in that game for a standoff between cover and cover, and the shotgun was out of range.
Yeah. And he nailed you, I think, you're almost right between the eyes, because one good thing though, I did upgrade my character. I signed on, and
Nicole7891 is asking, Decker, are you going to do an actress next summer special? That'd be interesting, doing an actress.
Doing a what?
Doing an actress. Oh, you mean reviewing their movies? Okay, that fell flat. Anyway.
Anyway.
But it's like with Borderlands 2 VR, I'm still annoyed about the lack of multiplayer. It's Borderlands.
Mhm.
All the cars are designed for at least 2 people.
We need to play Rec Room again, though, soon.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've only done that once so far.
It would also be
And
nice if you could play Fallout 76, but that's expensive, and I'm broke. Well, I'm not broke, but I'm broke until the 21st.
well, it's also like a huge ass honking file, and
Yeah, if you go digital on that one, it's going to be something.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the game physical copy comes with 2 discs. I bought it physical, so we're going to find out. It's just the beta code is digital, of course. I can't get the game in hand yet, so yeah. But yeah, they should make Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth on VR. Oh, that would be fun. Horror is really nice in VR, but so many horror games try and be cheap horror in VR, and that does not work on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you could see people was saying, like, when I was playing Resident Evil 7 in VR, that I was making the game not scary.
Right.
Because I just, every time there'd be like a jump scare, some sort of thing like that, I just usually wouldn't react at all. There were a couple of times that I got surprised by things, but most of the times when shit's like jumping at your face, I'm just like, shut up.
Yeah. And then there's also, I do remember Dark Corners of the Earth. That's actually a really good game. I felt like it should have gotten more attention and, better, it did better than it did. But then again, I'm biased and I like Cthulhu Mythos, so
Runs with Mooses says, hey, where is Patricia? Decker can't function without her. And while that is true, I don't know. I mean, she was supposed to be heading home to hop on her computer to join us again.
She said like 5 minutes.
It was quite, yeah, she said 5 minutes, and it's been well over 5 minutes, so
Been over a half hour.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't. I'm trying to figure. It's like there's the other news articles, but at the same time, I'm like, well, that's an interesting one, I guess. That one is something worth it. I know a lot of them is just like, yeah, there's that. But it's always when dealing with the news articles. Is I know usually Patricia has a nice little news sheet done up to make things so easy for me because I can't handle thinking. This week we didn't have time, so instead we just have all the articles. And usually when it comes to all the articles we've shared over the 2 weeks in between Live and Wireds, about a third to half of them wind up in the news sheet. So I'm just looking through them like, okay, which ones do we talk about, which not? And this, I think, is something definitely worth taking a look-see at. So, horror film missing for 50 years found in Scotland. The Telltale Heart was missing for more than 50 years. Telltale Heart from 1953 is a 20-minute British adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's psychological drama. The film was rediscovered in 2017 when Jeff Wells, a 16mm enthusiast, found the reel in his loft in Drummoor, near Stranraer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It has now been digitally restored and will be made available to watch online in time for Halloween. Yes! Mr. Wells, who had bought the film from a secondhand shop in Brighton in 1984, got in touch with Adelphi Films after finding out it was missing from their catalog. He has rediscovered it while clearing out his loft. Adelphi Films manager Kay Elise had been actively searching for the film in the last 12 years. She said, "We're very excited to have found this film and searching for it so long, and it almost giving up hope. It's a really excellent film, and Stanley Baker is terrific." Josephine Botting, British Film Institute curator, added, "It's always exciting when a missing film comes to light, and in addition to both the catalogue of British producer Adelphi and the filmography of Edgar Allan Poe, it's a wonderful discovery. We're delighted to be preserving the 16mm print and also to make the film available online to new audiences via BFI player in time for Halloween. Telltale Heart, which stars Stanley Baker, will be available on the BFI website from Friday for 2 weeks." Well, okay, so I guess get on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Wonder if Edgar Allan Poe's story would make a good Netflix series. Asks Runs with Mooses, Runs with Mooses.
That would be interesting. Or do like a Penny Dreadful sort of thing where you have like all the Edgar Allan Poe stories together in one shared universe happening all at once.
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. I've read the complete works of Edgar Allan Poe. Like, I haven't heard of this movie, I haven't heard of that movie, I haven't played that game. I read the complete works of Edgar Allan Poe. Oh, God, just all of that, oh my, no. Just happening in his mind is scary enough. I mean, it's not necessarily the stories themselves are, like, terrifying and spooky, it's just they're all weird. There were some parts that I really liked, I went, oh God, I don't have it with. It's at the old place. My book, The Complete Works of Edgar Allan Poe. That one passage was really one of my favorite parts of reading the entire thing. I want to say it was a narrative of the life of A. Gordon Pym. I don't know, some part where they were on the boat and they were all starving to death, and there was another boat coming to rescue them, and it was getting closer, and the guy was smiling and waving at him, and they're like, "Hey, please come over there," and they're not turning to meet him, but they're smiling and waving at him, and they're out there stranded. It's like, well, they're getting closer. Something. It's still good. We're saved now. And then they get close enough and realize, hey, they're all dead. The guy that was smiling and waving at you is actually just tied up in the ropes. He died there, and he's not smiling. The gulls just picked off his lips. And yeah.
Yeah. The one that I remember is the Murder in the Rue Morgue.
I know I read that. I'm just trying to think. When you read them all at once, they all kind of start to mesh together anyway. So. Murders of the Rue Morgue. Damn it. Though the cast of Amontillado is a fun one.
There's that.
Scott Yoshihara says The Raven, but yeah.
The Raven, I mean, yeah, his most famous one.
The most disturbing one to me was The Black Cat. God, now I can't remember anything on The Black Cat. I probably would if I read it again, but I don't have the damn book with me. I just have to like read a couple lines in the beginning, and I'm like, oh yeah, this one. It's like a song, you know. You can't remember anything about that song until you hear the first note, and then the whole song plays again.
Right.
Question for both Decker and Creepy: if you were given the choice of attaining the powers of fire or ice, which would you choose and why? See, I would always say fire there because that's pretty damn useful to me. Like you can cook shit, you can burn shit, you can destroy shit. Ice is like I never have to worry about having a hot drink. I never have to worry about my beer getting hot, but I mean maybe I could like slide on it to get places. I can't slide on fire. That's like ow.
Okay. I need to explain what just happened into my head. I tried to picture Decker with ice powers and trying to do what he just described. And what went through my head was Decker like making an ice slide for himself and standing at the top. It's like, all right, I can do this. I've got this. I am confident. And then steps off.
Quinn Brady's Imports is saying, creepy. Show Chibi Thulu.
Ta-da.
FC17 Productions says, I have a question for Decker. What's your favorite summer special? My favorite is Summer of Freddy vs. Jason. Same that I can remember. Though the summer of Stallone was also pretty fun. Summer of Schwarzenegger I enjoyed, but man, that went on too long. And I have enjoyed a lot in the summer of Halloween, but I really wish that I get my schedule straight again. But creepy, fire or ice?
Can I skip over both and have electromagnetic powers instead?
God damn it! You always know the right answer.
It's like, I mean, fire sounds cool on paper, but I actually feel like electromagnetic powers would be better. I mean, consider for a second how much stuff runs on on computers nowadays. So, like, I'll defeat, I'll stop you with my smart gun. Zap. It's like you fried the CPU in my gun. I can't fire it now.
Well, and electromagnetic, you could, even if it's not a smart gun, just like
yeah. I can't stop them all, Charles. You'll understand that line better eventually, Decker.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but Decker and I have been discussing something for next summer together.
And and I have a car, so I can get to you.
Yeah. So, for the people who have wanted to see more crossovers between Decker and I, you may get your wish.
Or we can meet halfway and crash into each other.
Yeah, that too. For the people who haven't want to see more crossovers between Decker and I, hate us, or at the very least, blame me.
Did I ever review the movie Cat's Eye? Not that I can recall. I am stupid and forget things a lot, but I'm pretty sure I never reviewed Cat's Eye.
Mm-hmm. There's also was that the movie with the Stephen King story about the troll and the little girl and the cat? Actually, what am I saying? I have the internet. Hold on a minute.
Summer of Creepy X-Men. That's no. Anywho, we're coming on to the 2 hour and 20 minutes, and I'm not so certain Patricia's coming back. And
that was it. The Cat's Eye. That's the movie that has the troll and the cat in it. Okay. And it's Barrymore.
And there is, oh god, no, that's something I have to talk about.
Okay.
This one is like, I must own all of this.
I did not see. I saw Power Rangers, and that was it.
What's with this? What ad is playing? It's annoying. I can hear it. I don't want it. Stop it. Damn it. I can't see anything. Was it the damn top there that was playing an audio? Okay, anyway. Power Rangers getting their own lingerie line. Power Rangers franchise has inspired plenty of costumes, fan art, and cosplay, but now it has also inspired a line of lingerie from Yandy. Yandy has several other popular themed lines of lingerie based on franchises like Harry Potter and the Disney Princesses, and now they've created the new line based on the mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The new line is called the Morphin Babe line and includes a selection for each of the original Rangers and the popular Green Ranger. Each Morphin Babe selection features a different lace-centric design, with some being one piece and others 2 pieces, but all of them feature a very Power Rangers-inspired mask. The sizes on this line range from X to XL, and they retail for $34.95. You can check out each of the different Ranger suits below. Here's the official description for the Red Morphin Babe squad lingerie costume. Ready to transform into your sexiest version yet? Take command of the bedroom in this exclusive Red Morphin Babe squad lingerie costume featuring a bra top with sheer eyelash lace, underwire cups, strappy detailing, sheer wire mesh panels, lace cup sleeves with a scallop trim, a hook and eye back closure, a matching high-waisted panty with strappy detailing, a cheeky cut back, and a matching eye mask with a black mesh panel. The Power Rangers inspired lingerie comes right in time for Halloween, but we're pretty sure you might want to wear these outfits in the house and not out. As for other additions to the line, we imagine there are successful, perhaps other notable icons from the franchise could get the lingerie treatment, but for now, there are plenty to choose from.
I find this interesting because I happen to know for a fact that you hate the Power Rangers.
Yeah, but I like naked women.
But this is lingerie, which means that they won't be naked.
I like mostly naked women, too.
Oh, okay.
And if the Power Rangers were all women in lingerie doing the Power Ranger events, I'd be for that.
You're okay with women performing Vogue-esque, poses in lingerie. You have some weird fetishes, you know that? And this is me talking.
Serling Pictures is asking, how about Ivan Ooze lingerie?
I love that idea. Or Rita Repulsa. Oh, Decker. Tell them about the link I sent you. The Robot Chicken sketch.
Oh, I didn't. Oh God, I didn't click on it, but I had an idea what it was. I was too busy with things.
Why?
I'm a loser.
I tell you what. You know where the link still is. Send it to everybody so that they know it is that you're watching, and then we can have kind of a reaction video.
No, but if I watch it, then it's going to be coming in, and I get the copyrights with copyright.
Oh, right. Damn it.
But I could still put it on the chat.
Okay.
Like, just add the link there, just so everyone knows what you're telling me about, that I'm dumb. Okay. Copy link address. Yes, there we go. There we go. Copy link address. Yes, there we go. YouTube is fun. I'm going. Hey, it says I'm live now. How nice.
Awesome.
And an ad did not play. Wonder if I already got demonetized. Possibly. Okay. How about Ray lingerie? It makes you flawless.
Oh, brother.
Pointiest boobs ever if they do Rita.
Rita versus Madonna in terms of boob conage.
Now, Alpha 5. I just can't imagine Alpha 5 without the giant freaking helmet.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of a lady in lingerie just with the you can't see their face at all.
Now here's one that's even weirder. Zordon lingerie.
No. No. I was demonetized when I said hi? Oh yes, I was demonetized. Limited or no ads, you say. How nice. How nice indeed. Okay, monetization. Yes, I'm going to request a manual review. I confirm my video is suitable for all advertisers. We just showed off Power Rangers lingerie. They're Power Rangers. It's family friendly. Thank you very much.
Family friendly, lacy lingerie.
Yes. Is this porn chat? Pretty much. Oh god. So yeah, I think that's about most of the important things to cover.
Yeah. So we're gonna cut this a little short this time.
Todd McFarlane says that he wants his R-rated horror movie Spawn to make children cry. Dracula series from the Sherlock team to launch on the BBC. Go behind the scenes of the original Planet of the Apes. As various things. Stanley Kubrick, The Exhibition in London. Adam F. Goldberg tells story that got Robert Englund to play Freddy Krueger in the Goldbergs. That sounds like an interesting story, but I don't know. Guillermo del Toro sets his stop-motion animated movie. Okay. So yeah, I think we've got most of the things, and we're coming on. Really gotta wrap things up, wind things down, calm things down.
Inside, he's screaming. He's like, I have 30 minutes left. I have done all I can.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, you got to bring the Live and Wire down from 3 hours. That's a bit much. It's a bit much.
Yeah.
Gotta reel it in a tad.
I hope everyone has enjoyed the train wreck that we've been on tonight. You know, it's like if this doesn't verify for people that Live and Wired without Patricia is a madhouse, I don't know what would.
Good old gamer says, I miss Patricia's reaction to the lingerie.
Oh.
And not just the lingerie, but all the chat afterwards.
Right.
What will I do for Halloween? Well, I'm going down over 100 miles things, but I don't know. I'm going to be very busy for the next couple of days, but I got most of the I got most of the film done for the review, so I'm hoping that is going to be edited and ready before Halloween or on Halloween. But I hope before.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho, since we're winding down, let us talk about what it is we are doing with our lives. Scrippy.
Unfortunately, Yama had some hard drive failure this past week. That is why a new Scooby-Doo retrospective has not gone out yet. We're going to try and get that done as soon as possible, hopefully before October ends. He had to take his laptop into the shop, at which point they told him that it would be easier and better if he just put a new hard drive into the old computer, and that way he could keep his stuff and the computer would be working again. But it's been that happened on a Saturday, like last Saturday, I think, or something like that, and they still have not given it back to him, so he's still waiting. And but hopefully we will have new reviews up soon. I do apologize for the wait. It's just that stuff happens sometimes. In other news, still got Midnight Wing Theater going. Really hoping I finish Dante's Cove this year. I would like to finish the series and move on to other things. But aside from that, Midnight Wing Theater. Don't forget to watch that, subscribe, click the alert bell for updates and so forth. How about you, Decker?
First, Dr. Doom asks, why didn't you guys have it Saturday? And that's because Saturday, at the time that Live and Wired is going to be going, I'm either going to be driving down a highway or at a Motel 6, or I might be at the famous pizza. What the hell is the place called? The one place down in the other city that looked kind of interesting. But
famous pizza.
It depends on whether or not I'm exhausted at that point, or I'm going to be, or I still have energy, and I'm like, hey, let's go down here because they have go-karts and bumper cars and pizza and a VR thing, and I'm like, all these things I'm interested in. So, yeah, I was thinking maybe going down there with my fiance, having a nice time. But also, it's Sunday. I'm going to be very busy. I'm doing most of the traveling tomorrow after the Patreon live feed, and then I'm going to be spending Sunday at the Texas Renaissance Festival, and as much as Sunday as I can. And I'm going to be there with my fiance, having nice, happy times. It's going to be All Hallows Eve this weekend, so I might be dressed as Michael Myers. I don't know. And so that's what's going to take up most of my time there. And then Sunday, I'm going to try and take the long trip home and such. And so Monday, going to be finishing filming all of the skits and working on getting all the editing done for the review. Just get the last Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Get that review out and up, and hope to fuck that it is also not hit with a copyright or content ID problems, and it'll just be a nice, happy, very well-performing video like the first Rob Zombie's Halloween review was, because that was really, really nice. I was very happy about that. It has really helped the channel a lot, like ridiculously, and it's kind of scary to look at that and be like, it did ridiculously well. It helped the entire channel in so many ways, and also it didn't go viral. It's not that something went viral and everything just took off. It just didn't get kneecapped by YouTube for once. So it's kind of sad. But yeah, Tom Ferraro dropped $2 and said, "Line greater than."
Okay.
Wait, the line, that's a thorn rune. The thorn rune.
Oh.
God damn. Line greater than. You made a thorn rune. Okay, I get it.
People want to see the finale of the story arc with the penis rune.
Yes. It's coming. We haven't forgotten. But yeah, I might do a little gaming in a second because I haven't done any gaming streams in a long time and I don't really have anything else planned tonight. But I might not, just because it'd be nice to get some sleep and wake up early tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see. If I do any streaming, it's probably going to be in a half hour. If I don't start in a half hour, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And it's going to be on Twitch again because YouTube still has me not allowed to live stream on my gaming channel. Tom Ferraro dropped $2 more saying it's the thorn symbol. Yes. I eventually figured it out. So, thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado.
And I've been that long-haired creepy guy. Driving
And
Decker closer and closer to insanity with every live stream.
And remember, this usually works, but when you don't have Patricia on hand, things get a little finicky.